And that is our Journalists Hangout Weekend Special, which focuses on the agony of persons displaced by armed banditry in Jibiya area of Katsina State. Rampant attacks by bandits on communities in the state have forced many to flee their homes and take refuge in internally displaced persons IDP camps. Babajide Kolade Otitoju recently visited an IDP camp in Jibiya where they narrated the pains and anguish inflicted on them when bandits attacked their villages. Let's share the story he filed from Jibiya with you.
On March the 10th, 2022, Nigerian soldiers took the decision to withdraw from their base in Shifida, Jibiya local government area of Katsina State, located less than a kilometer from the Rugu forest base of dreaded bandit leader Dangote. The army's decision to withdraw was precipitated by a number of factors, including acute water shortage and ambushes by the enemy. It turned out a catastrophic decision. Residents of the crowded village of approximately 20,000 people were thrown into panic by the army's withdrawal and began fleeing out of the village, since they knew their only layer of defense against bandits nearby had been removed. In the stampede, at least 10 kids died, while the bandits proceeded to block the road and kidnapped about a dozen residents fleeing the unguarded village for Jibiya and neighboring Niger Republic. The bandits looted everything valuable in the village, including roofing sheets, livestock, and food items, before setting houses ablaze. The councillor representing Shimfida Ward and a youth leader narrate the events of that fateful day.
Immediately when the soldier was dropped from the village, so after they find out the people are moving, so they even rush to attack the road in times whether they will cover some of them to take them away for what they used to do for kidnapping to collect money. I know that succeed because they captured some of our members after we left. So definitely those bandits, they entered the village, they started burning houses, they started packing the important items, they used to move away from there. Majority of the village, those who we blame is those who we are boundary from Zamfara, because majority, they take all our property down to Zamfara.
They all destroy all what we have. They burn our houses, they pack all our items belonging to the communities. So that's why we call on state government and local government to make whatever possible assistance to us to provide adequate materials like sleeping materials, which include mattress, nets, and bedsheet for us so that we can survive adequately there. And we call on them to provide like medicine, because currently we don't have any medicine in that place.
Governor Aminu Bello Masari remains convinced the army made a fundamental tactical error by withdrawing from the Shimfida base, leaving the villagers exposed.
The issue is, why were soldiers killed? What happened? This is what they should look at and address, not abandoning the people. And look at the cost of abandoning the people. They came and sacked the whole of the village, destroyed everything, removed roofing sheets, removed doors, whatever was useful, destroyed the school system in there. We had a secondary school, had to be closed, it was destroyed. The primary schools there were destroyed. What was the gain of the military withdrawing from the Shimfida? It was a tactical mistake that was rolled, that cost lives, properties, and the dislodgement of many people in Shimfida.
The Katsina State government responded promptly to the humanitarian crisis by setting up an IDP camp in the government girls' secondary school, Jibiya. The government continued to appeal to the army to return to their base in Shimfida so that people can return to their ancestral homes. The army recently returned to the village, encouraging the relocation of Shimfida indigenes to their destroyed homestead. Governor Masari approved immediate release of the sum of 107 million naira to purchase drugs, machines, and reconstruct damaged houses in the village. Though a good number of IDPs have returned to Shimfida, many from such villages as Sambe, Zango, Kwari, and Gerin Mawea are still left in the camp in Jibiya because their communities are not yet safe. I visited the Education and Social Services Department under the State Social Welfare Unit, where food meant for the IDPs are stored. Mohammed Lawan Jibiya is the secretary, Jibiya local government. He talked to me about the food items here and the need for support to take better care of the IDPs.
Taking care of these people dislodged by the bandit from those villages is not a very, very big task. Local government has spent a lot of money in trying to take care of them. There was a time when after the breakfast, we used to cook 15 bags of 50 kg rice for their feeding, for their lunch, and we made swallow in the night. So if you calculate this amount of this one, it is getting to about 1 million in a day. Without the intervention of the state government, we cannot do it. We cannot do it at all.
It was time to visit the IDPs at their Jibiya camp and see how they were doing.
I'm here at the government girls secondary school, Jibiya, Katsina State, where internally displaced persons who are dislodged from villages like Kwari, Shimfida, Sambe, Garimewea, and Zango are being looked after by the Katsina State government. From Shimfida alone, 12,560 persons were dislodged by bandits and their houses destroyed. They have had to be kept here by government so that they can be properly looked after.
The displaced persons tell the bitter story of attack on their communities and what they want government to do for them going forward.
Ma'aikata suka je tsambi ranar Laraba. Da suka je tsambi ranar Laraba.
The trouble all started after security operatives visited our village on one fateful Wednesday, and thereafter the bandits took offense of the visit and attacked us. On that day, 100 people were taken and even the village head. After much negotiation, some of the hostages were released. We had to follow the troops who visited the village. This lady says, as a result of the bandits' attack, she lost contact with her husband, who left her with 6 children. She says they have denied them access to their town. We are appealing to the government to provide us with security so that we can go back.
I'm in Shimfida Daddy on 10th of March 2022. I'm in Shimfida. On that day, early morning, we see troops carry army enter the Shimfida. At that time when we decided to move, there's only 2 trucks in the village. So no plenty vehicle to carry people from there. So as a result of this confusion, there is no peace of mind. We lost 8 children.
I walked up to the makeshift kitchen in the camp. Rice was the meal being cooked on this day, and it tastes nice. The special assistant to the Katsina State Governor on Security Matters, Ibrahim Katsina, throws more light on insecurity in the state and measures government is taking to address the problem.
Initially, there were 13 frontal local government areas that are facing this banditry, but currently we have 3, Jibiya, Basari, and Faskari. The rest is just like the Nigerian factor. You hear attack here today, tomorrow you will subdue them. But the 3 areas that we are facing most of the major challenges now is Jibiya, Basari, and Faskari. And we are also doing whatever it takes to see that we subdue these challenges.
He also spoke on the multi-layered approach to protecting the state.
We are making 3-tier security structure, involvement of the traditional rulers, in security management, the ADR, the alternative dispute resolution mechanism, which have established multi-door courts now in the state. We are reaching out to every stakeholder to ensure that even if we are going into amnesty, we'll do it in the right manner that will be based on reality.
Governor Masari, who explained how capital intensive it is to take care of internally displaced persons, described insecurity as a big distraction.
If you take how much we are spending every month to support security agencies, if this money is free, that we can employ it in education, in healthcare, a lot. We would have done more than what we have promised the people to do. But a lot of diversion of resources, our time, our energy towards addressing this issue of our people that are daily being killed and daily being displaced. Imagine a whole community being displaced. They have to be fed. They have to be sheltered. You know, so the enormity of expenditure on states that are confronted this is so huge. That's why we can't even move. We have to stay, because what I realized that there are 2, even if you cannot help somebody, sympathize with him. It helps, so that he knows that you care, because that's why we're here. That's the purpose of our being here. Otherwise, what is the use? For example, this Shimfida, we have spent over 100 million to simply provide simple roofing so that the people can go back. But we still need to do more for them to be properly settled back into their villages. There are thousands.
But he remains confident that victory of good over evil is just a matter of time. Babajide Kolade Otitoju, Jibiya, Katsina State.
There you have it, sad tales of agony, gentlemen. Mikhail, you heard these stories firsthand. Tell us more.
You know, in 2019, I traveled to that same community to interview bandits. And at that time, they promised they would never attack the people again. The government came up with an amnesty program. The camp of the bandit leader, who goes by the name Dangote, was just a spitting distance from the town, from the village where I conducted those interviews. In fact, I was even in the story showing the viewers some of his fighters who are going to their base, on that day. But those guys didn't really change their ways. The amnesty program collapsed after some time because when you embrace amnesty, you don't get to make the kind of money that you make as a criminal.
Correct.
So they got tired and went back to kidnapping people, killing people. But with the presence of the military at Shimfida, the people remained protected. But on 2 different occasions, our soldiers were ambushed in that community, leading to loss of lives. In fact, I think a lieutenant or so was killed. So, coupled with other problems, the military decided to move out of that community. And that was what led to a fresh round of killings and attack on the people. So they attacked the people. Some of them died. Houses were burnt. Children, about 8 kids, were trampled upon as the people were struggling to jump into any bus available just to run away. They knew that with the military retreating, that their lives were in danger. And that was exactly what happened. They couldn't even wait for the military to leave before they started attacking the people, stealing their livestock. They kidnapped some of them who were trying to run away from the area. So I decided to go to Jibiya. Jibiya is a very important Nigerian town because of its closeness to Niger Republic. In the years when we had peace, a lot of business was going on between Nigeria and Niger Republic, along that axis, including even mining. There are some solid minerals that in the Niger end that we don't have. Our people will go there, help them to process the gold. They can mine, but our people know how to make it look good and all that. But today, those areas are not safe. If you tell people, let us go to Shimfida, they know that the road to Shimfida is dangerous because the bandits have several crossing points. So you could just be unlucky at a point when they are crossing.
And you get attacked.
They will attack you. So people don't want to go to those areas. So apart from the people from Shimfida, there were other IDPs from other towns like Zango, Gerimi, Awia, who told me that, look, we can't go back home. As much as we feel the pain of being fed, the alternative
is never to go back home.
Is what they can't contemplate. So those communities remain unsafe. All we can do for our people is keep those communities safe, beef up security, but even the military is overstretched. You can't have the military protect every community. The governor was telling me of one local government, for example, in Katsina State, that has more than 100 communities, but only 34 policemen. So what do? The divisional headquarters there of the police is just 34. 34 to protect more than 100 communities. How can our people be protected by just 34 persons? So it's just a terrible thing. The Katsina is hemmed in the middle between Katsina and Zamfara. I mean, between Kaduna and Zamfara. Bandits will come in from Zamfara. Some will come from Kaduna, especially through Sabua local government. And it's making life unbearable for those people. 13 local governments in Katsina, 13 local governments are currently being harassed by bandits. So when you are talking about Nigerian states that are relatively unsafe, Katsina comes to mind because 13 of its local governments see attacks by bandits. And the governor was telling me that they are even trying to come into the state capital. One of the things that the governor said to me that troubled me until I got to Lagos was the involvement of women. That women are now getting more and more involved in banditry. Getting more and more. Any piece of business that offers a huge, can I use the word turnover, or a huge profit margin, people will not give it up easily. It will take mighty effort to get people to stop this banditry. And it's a big problem. Nigerians must come together and find a way to save our people. Our people are really suffering. Anyone could sit in his home and imagine that, some of these things are exaggerated. But you saw that old man crying. He doesn't know where his children are anymore. So, who feels it knows it. A lot of our people are going through a lot. It's a really painful thing to watch them suffer.
Hold on, BKO. I don't want to...
Well, first of all, let me commend the effort of Babajide to you. I mean, this is really journalism. This is what makes TVs to be actually unique. Because we are getting stories that are behind the curtain, that are not even reported by the global media. What is going on in Katsina is very unfortunate. This is the state of the president of the country, which is supposed to at least be one of the most protected, What is going on there, I think should have been tackled initially when the problem started. Because when the military started putting heat on bandits in Zamfara, in Kaduna, the surrounding states, and people were raising alarm in 2012, that the bandits were, fleeing to Katsina. They were not, nobody did, the response was not as effective, was not decisive. Until 2014, that they started killing people. Unfortunately, they kill people in hundreds. 103 people killed, 50 people killed. And I think to tackle this problem, there are two major things that I see. First one is to deal with the problem of drug supply. I think some of those bandits are on drugs. It is true. There's one drug, they call it Fanta. When they inject the body, they don't even know whether it's a human being that is standing or whether it's animal.
They are not human.
So at that moment, they are not conscious.
Does
they are
not
no
take
longer
a
alive.
normal situation.
So the supply of drugs, hard drugs, the government needs to work on it. Then the other area is access to weapons. That place, like I said, is very close to Niger. So weapons from southern Libya, where you have so much trouble in the Maghreb region, arms are being supplied through southern Libya too. So the supply of arms and then the supply of drugs. The other thing is I don't think negotiation is fruitful in this case, because you negotiate with them, after that they go into Banditry again. There was one of them, I think, Buhari Daji or so. He was killed. The government negotiated with him. He has not been killed, but the government negotiated with him, and he promised heaven and earth. The following month, renegade. And then they started the Banditry again. So I don't think negotiation is going to work. The government needs to forget about negotiation and deal decisively. And the other aspect is the ability of the governor to control the soldiers will drill. If we have state police, the governor will have been able to take initiative. But in this case, it became helpless. It boils down to what we are saying. True federalism, where state governors will be able to have, policemen that they are under their control.
All right, Bikio, a few minutes to go. Your last take on this before. And I heard the governor talk about capital intensive of taking care of these people.
Yes, it's extremely expensive. I saw where they keep their food without the support of NEMA, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. I doubt if any state can have the scale of problems that they have in the Northwest and be able to survive. I mean, if just one town, the governor has had to spend more than 100 million on roofing sheets alone, one community. By the time it's extended to other areas, how much are they going to spend? Security operatives kept in their state, they are paid hundreds of millions by way of allowances every month. Governors buy vehicles for them. They try to keep them comfortable. It costs a lot of money. We can't talk about how much is spent on even keeping security forces in those states. You pity the governors of some of these states when they tell you how much they are spending on security. That's why other sectors will suffer. I mean, if you are spending billions on security, other sectors will suffer. So this is the thing. IDPs, you have to feed them, you have to even clothe them, sometimes. It's expensive, feeding hundreds of IDPs every day without support. I don't think any state can sustain it for long. And that's why you see the governor of Borno State struggling to ensure that some communities are safe so that they can return people to their homes, because it's extremely expensive.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Especially